You need to get rich now. I don't know how else to put it in simple language. You need to panic, stop sleeping, feel nervous, get worried, and get rich now before the schism is so large in the universe that the wormhole closes and brokies cannot escape perpetual and never-ending slavery for their entire dynasty of their bloodline. You have shit to do. What do you mean yet? What do you mean festival? You have things to do. You have to escape slavery. I'm gonna go movies with my girlfriend. You wasted your fucking time. Next time your girlfriend says, let's go movies, are you gonna sit and think, wait, I went movies with a bitch in 2015, and now I'm not rich. Now this new bitch trying to make me go to a movie again. I'm still not rich, need money instead, and say, no, I'm locked in. I'm getting rich. Stand by me and enjoy the fruits of my labor or be gone. Maybe all the poor people who go, I don't want to be poor, I've tried hard, are lying. And if you get to know these people, they're not even nice people. And they snake their friends, and they lie, and they cheat, because good people who work hard seem to always win. By logical extension, anyone who has not won is not a good person who works hard. Somewhere along the line, there's something wrong with you. Now it is Darwinism. Those who do not benefit do not deserve to benefit. Act or fail.
When I hear people say, oh, it's hard, or I don't have time, etc., all you're doing is telling me you're a loser.
I am hundreds of feet underground. This entire salt mine was dug out by hand. Men with pickaxes, grit, and determination. Men who had to feed their families. Men who were dedicated enough to suffer so that the people they loved did not have to suffer. They were down here in the pitch black. It turns out the economic prospects have never been too great, have they? They've never been bright. There's no reason for you to complain now that the bankers or the economic situation has made it too difficult for you to get rich. Because since men were men, it's always been difficult to get rich. You had to risk your entire life, your physical safety to make enough money to afford food to eat. And now you stand a chance to get monumentally wealthy by typing on a keyboard, and you're complaining that somehow it is difficult. It's always been difficult. It's always been hard, and hard men win.
You're actually living in a period of time where it's easier to succeed, and it's better to be a man than it's ever been. You should show some respect to the men who did amazing things, whether they died in a ditch in some forgotten war or dug out this entire salt mine by hand to feed their families. And the easiest way to show them some respect is to dedicate yourself.
If you lose, you deserve to lose because you didn't take action. If you take action, you will win.
You have no excuse to not make money. All you have to do is try. I'm tired of yelling at you people. There's only so much you can do to inspire a sheep to become a wolf.
Most people go through their entire adult life without trying 100% hardly ever. Even when you go to the gym, you don't try 100%. Do you really try 100% with work? Don't do it if you're not going to try. It's a bad habit to spend time and waste it. It's a bad habit to go, oh, I tried. Yeah, at least I went. It's going that matters. If you're going to go, do it. If you're going to do it right. There's no point in half doing anything. You may as well have not done it at all.
I am a much larger proponent of larger risks and larger rewards. If you want to learn about self-help, if you want to understand yourself and see what kind of man you really are and learn how to fight through adversity and learn how to control your mind and learn how to struggle, then you can go to the boxing gym and you can get your ass kicked. You need to get in the gym, walk in there and say, I'm going to fight the best fighter here every single day and not quit until you can eventually beat him. Most people are not man enough for that. And they'll sit there and try and talk to me about mindset. I learned my mindset in battle. My mindset is 87 professional fights. I don't need to read a self-help book. I don't need to read about motivation or confidence. And reality is always going to be a better teacher than a book, because my coach used to say, if it doesn't hurt, you didn't learn. It's the same with entire life. You see people make the same mistake over and over again until it eventually goes really wrong. Only then they'll change. So I learned how to become self-disciplined and become self-motivated and work hard. And I learned how to face adversity and find strength within myself I didn't know I had, because people were trying to kill me inside of a cage. And you cannot replicate that by reading pages of a book. I think as a young man, if you want to get your life better, the most important thing you have are your waking hours. You need to be out competing all the other people on the planet who are hyper competitive. And if you think you have 8 hours to sit there and just read a book, you are wasting your time. You are too slow and you are going to lose against people like me. A lot of people say, oh, I have confidence issues. And I say, if I was you, I would have confidence issues. If you're not proud of yourself, you probably don't deserve to be proud of yourself, so you're not going to feel happy. Confidence comes from competence. The reason I'm confident is because I'm good at everything. The things I'm not good at, I'm not confident in, of course. And I know what they are. I either hire or I just don't want to do it. Yeah, I'm absolutely and utterly confident because I'm absolutely and utterly competent, and that takes practice and discipline and motivation, and you need to fail a few times. You need to get up. That's how it comes down to. And when people say, oh, I have competence issues, usually I can look them up and down and say, yeah, if I was you, I would completely and utterly struggle with competence issues. If I'm unhappy with something and I'm uncomfortable with something, I fix it. I would be able to take all of that discomfort and turn it into endless energy to get the problem fixed. These people seem to sit and say, I'm really unhappy with X, but then stay doing X. So I don't believe they're truly actually unhappy. What you'll notice if you live life long enough is that somebody will sit and say to you, I'm unhappy being a loser. I just sit at home and play video games 7 days a week. And maybe 3 days of the week, they're unhappy doing that. But 4 days of the week doesn't really bother them. Because if it bothered them 7 days a week, guess what? Yeah. So I have very little sympathy for people. And that's not because I'm not a nice person, but it's because I've been so hard on myself and I've been through so much pain and trauma myself, some of it self-inflicted, some of it given to me by God to make me a better person. Why would I feel pity for somebody who took the easy route when I took the hardest possible route? Because as a man, you can be anything you decide you want to be. That's the beauty of being a male. You can build your character completely from the ground up, just like a video game. I was not born a world champion kickboxer. I was not born this intelligent or intellectual. I was not born this rich. I became these things myself, so I deserve all the spoils of war. And anybody who decides they don't want to work hard enough to become those things, then they deserve to sit and accept they're my inferior. When I didn't have enough money to buy whatever I wanted, I couldn't fall asleep at night because I understood there are people out there that did, and I didn't see them as better than me. I have had a very painful life. I still think to a degree I do, but I can't imagine living any other way. I can't imagine living in this idea, this utopian, hedonism. Degenerate. I think the only thing you can do that's not degenerate is usually be fighting a battle or solving a problem. Is my life difficult? Yeah. Am I complaining about that? No. In fact, I'd hate it for.
I will smoke 10 cigars a day and beat the shit out of you. Batman is Batman because they killed his parents. If they did not kill his parents, he would not be Batman. You're supposed to suffer. You're supposed to take that pain. The worst thing that could happen to you as a man is you live a life with no pain in it. To be born into a rich family and have a nice, easy life and be given money, and you don't have to go to the gym and not have to train because you have bodyguards and sit around like a fuck up. You're going to be miserable and unhappy and a drug addict buying prostitutes. You're only going to have women who adore you. You're only going to feel confident in yourself and feel happy when you've been through hell and come out the other side. There's a version of you who never fails. It is waiting for you. Genuinely ask yourself a question, you at home. If you had done those things for the last 2 years, you make sure that you're getting as much muscles as possible, as much money as possible. You're dedicated. You don't sleep in. You don't waste your time. You don't smoke weed. You don't play video games. You're focused on trying to become fantastic as a person. Genuinely imagine what you would look like. Imagine where you would live. Imagine the car you would drive. Imagine how much your woman would respect you. Imagine the love you would see in her eyes when she looks at you with adoration like a king. In the multiverse, in the many different versions of the universe that exist, there is a version of you that does those exact things. And he is a greater person than you can even fathom. You can transform yourself into that guy. You can be a top G. That's exactly what I did. I knew who I was going to have to end up being before I became that person. My brother and I are not from rich families. We are not from advantaged beginnings. But I knew I had to be a big, strong, fighting billionaire. Discipline is the key to success. If you cannot force yourself to do something you don't want to do, how are you ever going to put yourself through the suffering required for greatness? It's supposed to be hard. Life is supposed to be hard. You're supposed to think this is terrible. You're supposed to suffer and smile through the pain regardless. Discipline is the key to success in all realms as a man. And if you lack it, you stand no chance. That's why it's so important to take action in all things. Action solves all. Raw action is the answer. How do I get out of jail? Push-ups. Why? I don't know. But as I said to my brother, there is a number of push-ups that I must complete. And when that is done, they'll say I can go home because I won't be here forever. There is a number of push-ups. Once they are done, that cell door opens. I don't know what the number is. I don't know if it's 1,000. I don't know if it's 100,000. This is why I was counting how many push-ups I was doing. I don't know, but there's a certain number of push-ups that I'm going to complete in jail. And once they're completed, the jail door opens. Therefore, I need to do as many push-ups as possible
all day and all night when I can't sleep until those push-ups are complete. The more push-ups I do, the sooner I'm out. That may not make sense to the layman. That may not make sense to the average person, but it made perfect sense to me. There's a certain number that must be completed, so let's get to work. Now, you could sit and tell me that my push-ups didn't get me out of jail. You could say my lawyer got me out of jail, or that the judge let me out of jail, or time let me out of jail. I'll sit here and say I was supposed to do X amount of thousand push-ups, and I completed them, and now I'm home. Raw action solves all. It is a mindset.
That is why most people won't make it. If the path was easy, everybody would walk it and it would lead nowhere. You are not stupid. You are not incompetent. You are lazy and arrogant. This is your competition. People who, even if they are told what to do and people tell them exactly how to do it and help them do it, still quit, still fail because they lack discipline. Even me, with my monumental powers, I can't make a quitter successful. It doesn't matter how good I am. It doesn't matter how easily I make it for them to succeed. It doesn't matter how compendious and concise and powerful the real world is. It doesn't matter how much I text them and motivate them, how many emergency meetings I do to try and talk to them and hype them up, how much motivation I give them. It doesn't matter what I do. If they are a quitter, guess what they're going to do? They're going to quit. No matter how simple the map is to read, no matter how fast the Ferrari is, somewhere along the drive, the sun's going to get in their eyes, and they're going to sit there and go, I don't like this is hard, and they're going to quit. Quitters are the number one type of people that nobody can help. If you're a quitter, I can't help you, life can't help you, God himself cannot help a quitter. So if you lack discipline, you lack the very basic building block to any type of success which exists on the planet. By every single metric which can be measured with science, you are going to stay a loser and a failure. As soon as you are granted life, you are guaranteed death. What you do in between is up to you. You are all conscious. That could end tomorrow, that could end in 100 years. But the time between the beginning of your consciousness and the end of it is completely up to you. Training is never the wrong decision. If you're in jail, you should train. If you are free, you should train. If you are rich, you should train. If you are poor, you should train. If you smoke, you should train. If you don't smoke, you should train. If you drink, you should train. If you don't drink, you should train. You cannot escape that hard work is always the correct decision. There is no time in any scenario when working hard is going to be the wrong answer. You should always try your very best in all things. I don't train because I want to get bigger. I train every day because it is difficult to train every day. It hurts. I don't want to. I wake up and I'm busy. I have other things to do. I don't feel like doing it. So I force myself to do it 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so that I know I'm the kind of person who can do what he doesn't want to do when it needs to be done. I am that man. And it is more of a mental exercise than a physical exercise at this point. How can you ever outcompete me if I can force myself to do the things I don't want to do and you cannot? Discipline is absolutely essential for success, and you need to get very comfortable and very used to the idea of understanding that on your path to greatness, there are going to be long periods of time where you hate what you are doing, where you are dissatisfied with the actions you must undertake, where you are tired, where you are stressed. It is very easy to accept an L when you've tried your best. It's easy. The reason I don't like that saying, well, as long as you tried your best, it's because most people don't try their best. If you do try your best, it's very rare you fail. In fact, it's nearly impossible. People say it's okay to lose if you tried your best. The secret to the universe is if you try your best, you hardly ever lose. It takes some freak accident or the will of God to ensure that you don't pull it off if you actually try your best. Effort is a muscle, like everything else. The more you exercise it, the better it becomes. So even if you try for 100% for something and fail, you've exercised your effort muscle, which means you haven't failed because you've learned something and become better at giving effort to things. You've become better at being concentrated on a task. So it's nearly impossible to fail in these scenarios. A lot of sayings are overused, never a failure, always a lesson. Women say that after they slept with too many men. And that's what's annoying about it, because it's true, but it's rarely applicable. You guys will say it's never a failure, it's always a lesson, when you didn't even fucking try. That's wrong. That's a failure. But if you absolutely try your best, then it is a lesson, and there are benefits, right?
It's like going for a PB in the gym. You may not get the PB, but your muscles get stronger because you tried so hard. That's how every single task should be approached. I'm trying to lift as much as possible. Perhaps I failed, but because I tried so hard and I strained so hard, my muscles ache and I got stronger anyway. Meaning I did not fail at the task of becoming stronger. There were tangible benefits to my effort in and of itself.
100 people start the path, 99 fall off because it is difficult, and the one person who makes it to the end gets to gold. If all 100 made it to the end and the gold was divided by 100, it wouldn't even be worth anything. The difficulty gives it value. The fact that it is difficult to do is the key component into the fact you want it in the first place.
Women hate when something happens to a man. They like when a man happens to things. If you're a man, you sit there and go, oh my God, it's so cold and it rained on me. A woman's going to think you're gay. You're gay because of the rain, and she's right, because you got cold like a faggot. A real man, he will go out there and do and happen to things. He won't have things happened to him.
Because I train harder than you can possibly fathom. Pain is an extremely important part of the equation. Pain is the elixir of success. When people say this bad thing happened to me and I'm suffering, I say good. It is pain which is required. It's one of the elements in the chemical reaction. And the chemical reaction requires 5 particular distinct compounds, and you have 4 and you're missing 1. It simply doesn't work. Pain for a man is one of the most important elements in becoming successful. And you'll often notice that people who are better than you are people who have suffered more than you have suffered. So the person who is waiting for you, he requires your motivation. It also requires huge amounts of pain. So when bad things happen to you, do not sit at home and lament. Do not feel sorry for yourself. Instead, look in the mirror and say, thank you, God, for giving me one of the ingredients that is needed for the chemical concoction that is going to turn me into a superhero. Because pain is an extremely important one. In fact, it's one of the most important ones for a man. Everything is war. All of it. Sitting